Hello and welcome to KennyRoy.com. I'm Kenny Roy. This is the Ask Video Mail for the week of June 11th. June 11th, I got it, 2012. Welcome to the site to all you new members, and welcome back to the Ask Video Mail. Don't forget, it's your chance to get your question in character animation or performance answered in a video just like this one, but I need your question if I'm going to answer it. So please send me your questions to webmaster@kennyroy.com. I go through all the questions and I answer the ones that I think will help the most people. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and it's the best way to get the most out of your subscription. So please send one in if you haven't already. I love to get questions, and I love to get Maya files. So send me your Maya file. If you get stuck, just send it to me and I'll work it out. Okay? A little bit of site news. I am going to be posting up the link for the page where you can sign up and apply to work at Arconics, but really I'm putting this up so that I can start collecting the names of artists who want to contribute to the little painter. So look around for that. You won't be able to miss it. I'm sure it's going to be on the home page to apply. So spread the word, tell your friends, and that's going to be, I know it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a flood of emails, but I'm looking forward to going through each one and seeing what you can do. So look out for that. And also, I wanted to go one more time over the affiliate program. I made a video. I thought it was pretty clear. It must not be that clear because I got some emails from people who are like I want to do it, but I don't have a business. And another person was like, how do I manage? How do I manage the web page on your website? Like, what do I do there and whatever? Let me simplify it way down for you. What the affiliate program really is it just makes it so that I can keep track if you ever link my site. That's basically all it is. And in return for linking my site, if somebody signs up or buys something from the store, I want to give you a percentage of that, just to say thank you. Okay, so that percentage is 33% and 50% for Videomail packs. Well, let's just take that 33% as a number. If you sign up and get an affiliate ID, you can send anybody to my site using your affiliate ID by just taking a link on kennyroy.com and then adding question mark affiliate ID, so AFF ID equals, and then just your affiliate ID. And then if you send that link to anybody and they use it and they buy something, you'll get 33%. It's that simple. You don't need a business. You don't need to manage anything on my site. It's all automatic. So if you have a blog, okay, if you have a lot of friends that you think you could email it to, if you have a lot of Facebook friends, if you have a lot of Twitter followers, anywhere where you are already linking my site, you should have an affiliate account. Because if anyone follows your link, then you can just get money like that. It's really great. And another question that was asked of me was, is it like a one-time thing? No, it's not a one-time thing. So you get 33% commission on the subscription. So as long as the subscription lasts. So if you have 10 friends that sign up, 33% of that $30 a month membership is $100. So you earn $100 every single month from using that affiliate ID. So it's very, very, very simple. And I know I guess the video is kind of confusing. Just think of it as a way that I can keep track of whenever you send somebody to the site, and a way of saying thank you. So pretty much everyone should sign up as an affiliate just in case. And if you ever, let's say I have another webcast, another live stream event, anything that's announced on kennyroy.com that you're normally linking already, just use your affiliate ID from now on and earn that money. Okay, so that's that. Let's get into the question. It's a good one. I really like talking about this because it is one of the technical parts of CG animation that kind of sets us apart a little bit, I would say, from traditional animation. So it's fun to talk about. Let's take a look. Well, thank you for sending in that question. It's a really good one. First of all, what animation layers are is basically adding movement on top of controls in a layered fashion. Now, just like any wave or any energy pattern, they will always interfere with each other. Now, the different types of interference are like addition and subtraction, and you know, when waves go together, basically the resulting wave is what you will see in Maya. Meaning, for instance, if you have a Y curve that goes up like this and then down like this, like a parabola, and then another Y curve on a new layer that goes down like this and up like this, they will basically perfectly cancel each other out. So the first thing to know about layers is that they do behave in sort of like a wave energy kind of relationship. Okay, and you can animate the strength of a layer, but you can't go into a layer and really change the amount that individual controls are weighted in a layer on their own. So the first thing to in terms of workflow to practice with layers is to decide very early on what kinds of things you want to keep in your layered approach till the end. And for me, my workflow is to always do the non-performance texture in layers if I can, and the things that will mean that I can't is if there's a really involving kind of non-performance texture kind of thing that is dependent on the timing of another thing. Like, say for instance, a guy is walking and then he falls down like 5 or 6 steps and goes like that. If that moves, then I might not put, for instance, like the overlap on the head into another layer. Even though that's kind of non-performance texture by definition, I probably would just do all of that kind of just in one master animation layer, you know, not use layers. But it is great for adding non-performance texture, like breathing is great for adding things like breathing. And the reason is because you can key a really nice breath and then kind of like dial it into the animation and just like punch it up and pull it back and just get it to where it's really feeling natural. So why animation layers sets us apart from 2D animators or traditional animators is because we have the ability to edit. It's non-linear. You can slide it around, you can copy and paste it anywhere you want, and you can go back and forth between different values and however you like. And in traditional, you have to draw everything that, everything I'm talking about, you have to draw that into the frame. So if you have a character breathing really, really subtly and really slowly on top of an action where they're like, like polishing their shoe or something like that, with that nice breath in there, unfortunately, your only recourse is to actually just really, really get super detailed down into your drawings and see if you can play with that volume in their chest. And that's it. Whereas we all of a sudden have this huge amount of control, this huge amount of versatility, and we can save a lot of questions till later when we can react to it as an audience member. And that's another thing. My workflow, as I hope yours is changing and growing, and it doesn't have to be exactly like my workflow, of course, but what I'm hoping is that you are making conscious workflow changes and choices every single time, like you see a Videomail, every single lecture, every single new shot you do. I hope your workflow is changing. So my workflow is heavily biased towards allowing me to step into the audience and watch the animation as often and early as I can in a very removed fashion. Okay, so using animation layers again is a great way if you want to pepper in that non-performance texture, something like breathing. It's really, really great to just be able to put it in, and then like just like take a step back, sit back and look and say like, oh, is that too big? Is that too small? Like, what's that really doing? Is that contributing? Let me edit it a little bit and take a step back and just watch the result. We too often get so caught up in going for this result and working so close to the shot that we don't actually give ourselves a chance to step back and let the animation speak to us and change how we feel about the decision that we thought we were making and make a new one. So I really want everyone in CG to kind of adopt this experimentation and this really adventurous attitude where you don't know how the animation is going to change because of what you see, because what you find in this shot that you didn't even know was there. I feel like in traditional, maybe it's because I'm just not that great a draftsman, but when drawing over and over, I discover a lot less in what's in front of me than I do when I'm watching and when I'm editing and I'm experimenting in CG. So let's just really quickly jump into this and just like add a breath to this shot. I've talked about animation layers before, and I want to remind you, if you go to howtocheatinmaya.com, there are actually, I think, 4 or 5 free videos, and one of them is actually walking through the animation layers cheat, which is for the secondary action chapter or fundamental in the principles chapter of How to Cheat in Maya 2012. How to Cheat in Maya 2013 is coming out in the middle of summer, and we're going to all the files are going to be updated. It's going to be really exciting, but I do want to show you just a little bit of animation layers right now as well. So let's take a look. So here we have, this scene. This scene is an evergreen. I love this one. So I'm really just going to quickly retime this. I love 2013's retime tool. It's so awesome. It's so much fun. So here we have that, and then I kind of want to retime. So I want to stretch this out a little bit. I want to give myself a little bit more, a few more frames. So he's standing here for a little bit longer, and then he freaks out. Looks like I did not have everything selected though. Stand by. Let's try this one more time. Make sure we get all the facial controls as well. There we go. So the retime tool, I'm not sure if you guys have played around with this a lot yet, but it is pretty dope. See, you've got that eye line change right there as well. Okay, so let's go right here instead. And just drag these. Oh, that's too much. Okay, so he's sitting here, and then... Okay, so it's cool. So now, here's what we can do. When you have a character like this, and you have all of your animation on with no layers, when you add a layer, first of all, you need to have the controls selected to add a layer using using this far right button, because what that does is it adds the selected controls to the layer. I think in almost all but a few cases, there's no harm in adding a animation layer that has all of the controls in it. But here's the thing, when you start a scene like this, well, your base animation layer has everything on it, but your animation layer 1, as you can see on the timeline, has nothing on it. And it's almost as if you created an animation layer a little bit too late. So one trick is to actually bring in another copy of the scene, another copy of the rig rather, okay? And actually I'm going to create a reference instead. And what this is going to do for us is it's going to make it so that we have basically a rig, a copy that doesn't have any animation on it, and then we can truly start from zero. And the reason you want to start from zero is because if we have our guy even like just starting like this, it's hard for us to tell what a real breath, like from a default pose, just a nice in and out, like what that would feel like if he's bent over. So what we end up doing is is kind of compensating for like how they're bent over, and you don't ever really get what looks like a very well thought through big, you know, big movers moving smaller movers, the successive breaking of joints, all that good stuff. It really doesn't come through. So let's go back here. Now we have our new copy of Groggy, and now I'm just going to take these 5 controllers here. Let's just take these 4 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And now I'm going to set a key, and I'm basically just going to make a little bit of a cycle with overlap on it. Okay. So that's 20. We can go like somewhere in there. And let's show all the controls. Okay, so it's mostly rotate X, and we can do cycle, post-infinity cycle, pre-infinity cycle. And then I'm just going to really quickly do my offsets, deselect this base curve, add 2 frames to this, deselect that middle one, add 2 frames to this one, deselect this one, add 2 frames to this one. And then I'm going to, in general, make it so that he's leaned just a little bit further forward on this, and then see what we have. Okay, now I can do just a little bit of animation. There actually is a breathe control, and as you can see, it's very slight on Groggy. Normally it's a lot, well, I mean, I guess that's pretty big. And then also a tummy full, which is good as well. And because there's already keyframes on here, I'm just going to select them and delete them, and take my translate Y as my guide. Okay, so it's 1 to 41. And then I'm just going to select both of these channels, key them on 1, key them on 41, key selected. And then in the graph editor, just select these 2, insert a key, and then dial them both up just very, very, very slightly. Actually, you know, to be honest, we can go as far as we want, you know. So let's actually go a little bit more than I probably would. You see that? And then let's go even further. And let's do this. All right. So everything is flatted. All the curves are cycle on this. But probably you're going to be inhaling, which is what makes it so that you are breathing in, right? Or sorry, that's stupid sentence. You're going to be inhaling. That's what's going to be making your back move backwards, meaning that inhale is a little bit actually before the action, like that. That might be a little bit too much. Let's just go 1 frame back. Okay, cool. So now we do this. Now we select 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we can go edit keys and then copy keys on selected. All right, and now on this animation layer, which is anim layer 1, 2, 3, 4, we can go, I like to actually set a key on frame 1, and then we can go keys, paste keys, and then you want to go clipboard and then replace entire curve. Okay. And so what that did is, if you look in our animation layer 1, just in animation layer 1 as well, you don't want to choose base animation because there it is. So you just choose animation layer 1, and you can see, and I'll zoom in here, you can see that all of our curves, here are our offsets, all that stuff is has been pasted over, and as well the infinity curve types also copy when you copy within a scene. I'm not sure if they copy across scenes, because you can keep animation in your clipboard and copy it across a scene. Just open up a new scene and hit paste, which I use all the time, which is great. So I'm just going to remove this reference. Namespace is not namespace, just delete the namespace, that doesn't matter. Okay, so now we have an anim layer with Groggy really huffing and puffing, and now we can just decide what do we want to do with this. His arm is actually IK, so let's, on the base animation layer, let's just make sure that it's or sorry, it was FK before. Let's just put a key up here. Just make it IK just for now. All right. So I know the hand animation, I know it's a little bit distracting. And now this is the great part. What I can do is, knowing that here we have, you know, basically the animation that I was happy with before, this new action that I know was started from 0 because I copied it off of a blank rig, which is a great way if your workflow is still being worked out a little bit right now, you can make up for having not created the same thinking of animation layers in mind. Now I can just, you know, take a step back and watch and enjoy the animation and judge it, you know, on all its merits. So let's just play. It's like way too much. So I'll just go to animation layer 1, and I can actually change the weight as I play it. So I can dial it down, dial it all the way back up, and then find like a middle ground. You know, 5.5 is okay. Let's go a little bit lower. Okay, and then the cool thing is, if you disregard that arm pop, that animation layer, since it's cycled already, there's actually a little bit of breathing going on, you know, through the entire animation right now. So I can actually, you know, in this middle section where it's going a little bit crazier, I can dial it up. I can animate this weight all the way up, and as you can see, he's in the air, right? But there's that weight, right? So you probably want a little bit more huffing and puffing, and probably the speed would speed up, but there's no reason I can't go into my graph editor, bake all the curves that are on this animation layer, and then just, you know, custom tailor it to the animation, you know, on the body. So really, you know, when we get back to workflow, it has to do with making our animation like fun and editable, so that we can step back, we can join the audience in watching the animation and judging it, you know, on all of its merits, all of its storytelling merits, and all of its visual, you know, appeal. And that's really the really enjoyable process that animation layers gives us. There's a lot of other things in CG that give us that quality as well. But really, I'm a huge proponent of making your workflow practice and your workflow study gear itself very heavily towards becoming an audience member as soon and as often as possible with every part of the process. So animation layers are a great way to do that. So thank you for sending in that question. Experiment with them. It's very easy. You just add your controls to the animation layer. Remember that wave theory, you know, cancellation and addition and all that stuff, that applies, and you need to be very careful of what you're adding it to. If you have a workflow where you can basically create your scene knowing that, you know, you're going to do a lot of stuff on the body in animation layers, or on the torso, you might want to like walk the legs and keep the torso very, very, very steady, so that then you can add all that stuff on top and just, you know, play with it. Animate the weight and see what kind of different effects you can get, and join the audience. And it's a lot of fun. Great question. Please send in more questions. The address to send them into is webmaster@kennyroy.com. I promise I go through all the questions. Please send me your Maya files as well. I have a lot of fun going through your work and sharing it with everybody. It's been a great time. Sign up as an affiliate. You won't be sorry. It'll be a lot of fun as well. Good luck with your animation as always. Rock on.